The world is witnessing a tragedy that continues to unfold before our eyes, one that has captured headlines and sparked urgent debates across continents. In Gaza, a deep crisis has taken hold, leaving devastation in its wake and reshaping the lives of millions who call this land home. This small, densely populated territory has endured relentless conflict for months on end. Streets once filled with laughter and daily routines are now marked by rubble and uncertainty as families navigate the ruins of their neighborhoods. The result is a humanitarian disaster of staggering proportions. Violence, hunger, and loss have become the defining features of daily existence for countless people. Food, clean water, and medical supplies are scarce, and every day is a struggle for survival. Homes have been reduced to rubble, families are torn apart, and the future remains shrouded in uncertainty. Many have lost everything, forced to start over with nothing but hope and resilience. This is not just a political conflict, it's a profound human crisis. Children in particular are growing up knowing only war, their innocence stolen by the constant threat of violence and loss. To truly understand Gaza, we must listen to the voices of those living through this nightmare. We must also consider the perspectives of all involved: Hamas, Israel, and the international organizations working tirelessly on the ground. The United Nations and humanitarian groups continue to report on the immense suffering and the urgent need for coordinated solutions. Their efforts, though vital, are often hampered by ongoing violence and limited access. In July 2025, the crisis in Gaza demands the world's attention more than ever. Protests and diplomatic talks echo the urgency for peace and relief. In this chapter, we'll examine the accusations against Israel, the scale of the humanitarian catastrophe, and the daily struggles faced by ordinary people, stories often lost amid political debates. The cycle of violence and despair seems endless, with each day bringing new tragedies and deepening wounds. Every sunrise brings new hardship, and for many, unbearable loss. The toll on mental health and community spirit is immeasurable. The world cannot afford to look away or become numb to the suffering. Each voice raised in protest, each report from the ground, is a call for compassion and action. This story must be told with a focus on the human cost, not just political rhetoric. Behind every statistic is a person, a family, a shattered dream. By exploring these realities, we can begin to grasp the depth of suffering and the urgent need for empathy and meaningful change. The tragedy in Gaza is ongoing, and the need for action is more urgent than ever before. The world must not turn its back. Let's look closer at what's happening on the ground and remember that behind every headline, there are real lives at stake. Hamas accuses Israel of systematic ethnic cleansing in Gaza. They claim Israel uses violence, starvation, and deprivation as tools of war, aiming to make Gaza unlivable and force Palestinians out. Civilian areas, homes, schools, hospitals are bombed, and aid distribution points have become deadly. Hamas calls these acts crimes against humanity and demands international intervention. They argue that hunger and chaos are being used as weapons. By using terms like genocide, Hamas seeks global attention and protection for Palestinians. Whether or not one agrees with their politics, these accusations highlight the extreme suffering in Gaza. The world is being asked to respond. Gaza faces a deepening humanitarian catastrophe. Basic needs like food, water, and medicine are not just scarce, but almost entirely out of reach for many families. Every day, people wait in long lines under the harsh sun, hoping for a small ration of bread or a few liters of clean water. Parents worry about how they will feed their children, and the elderly struggle to survive in these desperate conditions. The United Nations warns that the entire population is at risk, with no one spared from the crisis. International agencies are sounding the alarm, calling for urgent action as the situation grows more dire by the day. Hospitals and critical infrastructure have been destroyed, making medical care nearly impossible. Emergency rooms are overwhelmed and ambulances can barely function amid the rubble. Hunger is rampant, markets are empty, and prices for what little remains are out of reach for most. Families search abandoned stalls, hoping to find anything to eat. Children are dying from malnutrition and dehydration, their bodies weakened by months of deprivation. Parents watch helplessly as their children grow thinner and weaker. Aid groups confirm that acute malnutrition is rising fast, especially among the youngest and most vulnerable. Humanitarian workers struggle to reach those in need, but supplies are limited and the need is overwhelming. The healthcare system has collapsed. Doctors work without basic supplies, forced to make impossible choices about who to treat. Many patients are turned away, and preventable deaths are now common. Even minor illnesses can be fatal in these conditions as families have nowhere to turn for help. The loss of a loved one is a daily reality for many. The psychological toll is immense. Constant fear, trauma, and hopelessness haunt families. Nights are filled with anxiety and children struggle to sleep through the sounds of conflict. Children show signs of severe trauma, and the mental health crisis is as devastating as the physical one. Many have lost friends, homes, and any sense of safety. The world sees the destruction, but the invisible wounds, grief, fear, and loss will last for generations, shaping the future of Gaza's children. Gaza's suffering is both visible and hidden, a daily struggle for survival that demands the world's attention and compassion. The numbers from Gaza reveal immense loss. Over 59,000 people have been killed since October 2023, many of them women and children. Displacement is widespread. 86% of Gaza has been evacuated, forcing 2 million people into overcrowded southern areas. Families live in tents, often displaced multiple times. Malnutrition is soaring. In March 2025, nearly 3,700 children were newly treated for acute malnutrition, an 80% jump in a month. More than half the population faces severe food shortages. Thousands of buildings, homes, schools, hospitals are destroyed. Even if the conflict ends, rebuilding will take years. These statistics represent shattered lives and a society in crisis. The scale of destruction is almost unimaginable. Aid struggles to reach Gaza due to a strict blockade. Essential supplies are stuck at border crossings, and deliveries are often halted. Israel says the blockade is needed for security, but aid groups call it collective punishment. Inspections are slow, and only a fraction of needed aid gets through. Inside Gaza, fighting and politics make distribution dangerous and chaotic. New organizations like the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation are controversial, with major aid groups refusing to cooperate. The result, people starve while food sits just miles away. The broken aid system leaves Gazans feeling abandoned. The world has condemned the crisis in Gaza. Dozens of countries, including the UK and EU, have called Israel's actions unacceptable and demanded protection for civilians. The UN has repeatedly called for a ceasefire and unimpeded aid access. The International Court of Justice ordered Israel to ensure aid delivery, but compliance is disputed. Financial pledges have been made, but aid must actually reach people. Pressure is mounting on Israel to open crossings and allow humanitarian work. Despite global outcry, a ceasefire remains elusive. Negotiations stall, and suffering continues. The credibility of international law is at stake. The world is watching, demanding action. Israel rejects international criticism, insisting its actions are self-defense against Hamas. Officials argue the blockade is necessary to prevent weapons from reaching militants. Israel says aid is allowed in, but blames Hamas and aid groups for distribution failures. The government claims it targets Hamas, not civilians, and accuses critics of bias. Israel insists it follows international law and tries to minimize civilian casualties. The official stance, Hamas is responsible for the suffering by operating among civilians. This narrative shapes Israel's explanation to its people and the world. The conflict's complexity fuels ongoing debate. Some Israelis, like journalist Gideon Levy, fiercely criticize their government's actions in Gaza. Levy accuses Israel of a deliberate strategy to forcibly displace Gazans, calling it ethnic cleansing. He argues that bombing, displacement, and starvation are not side effects, but part of a plan to make Gaza unlivable. Levy's analysis challenges the official narrative, warning that civilian suffering is being used as a political tool. His voice highlights internal dissent and the importance of critical debate within Israel. Levy's warnings force uncomfortable questions about the morality and long-term consequences of the war. His work contributes to the global debate on the conflict's true nature. Free speech and conscience remain vital even in times of war. For ordinary Gazans, survival is a daily battle. Every morning begins with uncertainty, as families wake up not knowing what challenges the day will bring. The simple act of moving through the streets is fraught with danger and exhaustion, as people navigate the ruins of what used to be their homes and neighborhoods. Conflict has destroyed routines. people now search endlessly for food, water, and shelter. The basic necessities of life have become precious and rare, forcing families to wait in long lines for aid or scavenge through debris for anything useful. Many live in crowded tents exposed to the elements. With little protection from harsh weather, families struggle to stay warm and dry, often huddling together for comfort as storms batter their fragile shelters. The search for food dominates life. Parents go hungry so children can eat. Meals are meager, and every bite is carefully rationed. Parents make heartbreaking sacrifices, skipping meals to ensure their children have something to eat. Clean water is scarce, leading to sickness, especially among children. Many are forced to drink from unsafe sources, risking illness and dehydration as they try to survive in these harsh conditions. The emotional toll is immense. Anxiety, trauma, and loss are everywhere. The constant fear and uncertainty weigh heavily on everyone, leaving deep scars that may last a lifetime. Children have lost homes, loved ones, and their sense of safety. Many are haunted by memories of violence and loss, struggling to find hope in a world turned upside down. The joy of childhood, play, school, dreams, has vanished. Playgrounds are empty, schools are closed, and the laughter of children has been replaced by silence and worry. Despite hardship, Gazans show resilience, helping each other and building community in camps. Acts of kindness and solidarity shine through, as neighbors support one another and share what little they have. But their strength is stretched to the limit. The relentless pressure of daily survival leaves many exhausted, both physically and emotionally, as they try to hold on to hope. Many feel abandoned by the world, unsure when relief will come. The wait for help is long and uncertain, and the sense of isolation grows with each passing day. Their struggle is a testament to the human spirit and a call for urgent peace. In the face of unimaginable hardship, the people of Gaza continue to hope for a better future, longing for safety, dignity, and the chance to rebuild their lives. Gaza's crisis is a profound human tragedy, not just a political conflict. The suffering, hunger, loss, trauma will echo for generations. The world has a moral duty to pay attention and act. International pressure can push for ceasefire, aid, and accountability. Without global focus, Gazans will suffer in silence. The conflict's complexity must not overshadow the clarity of human need. The immediate priority: end violence, lift the blockade, and deliver aid. True peace requires justice for both Palestinians and Israelis. The world must not look away. Millions depend on our response. Only global attention offers hope for an end to this nightmare.